one time I was in a good mood and I went into Guruji's bungalow and I said, I was looking for him, I could not see him, so I didn't even know who opened the door for me, can't remember. But he was not anywhere public in the bungalow. So I assumed he must be in his room. And so I went into his room and I saw him sitting in front of his altar looking at Giridhari, and there were tears flowing from his eyes, and I thought, maybe I should leave. It seems a bit private. And he said to me, please stay. So, surprised, I stayed. And I said, Guruji, why are you crying? And he said to me, you know, Revati, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Sometimes I think, what's wrong with me? And I was so confused, so utterly lost. So utterly lost. I said, what are you talking about? And he said, I look at my devotees, they don't cry for God. Their hearts don't burn for God. They come and go. All they ever want to talk to me about is their problems. And I look around and I see, well, if this is the case, then I must be the problem. Because they are my devotees. So I must be the problem. Tell me, Revati, am I the problem? And I'm sitting there thinking, no, Guruji, you are not the problem. My mind is so confused. I'm thinking, Guruji, why are you blaming yourself? I can tell you right now, hundreds of things that we are doing wrong. Hundreds of reasons why you are definitely not the problem. Day after day after day, he is doing everything in his power. He's doing satsang, darshan, prayers. He builds a temple for us to come and worship every day, morning, afternoon, evening. He listens to our problems. He helps us through our problems. If you don't want to come and meet him here, he'll go to your country. For how many years has he been traveling? 30, 40 countries a year. And I'm thinking, how on earth can you be the problem? And then he said to me, the problem, I start to think, is that I love too much. And people can't handle it. And I said, okay, well maybe this is a problem, yes. Because it's true. I feel so inadequate in front of you. My love feels so cheap sometimes. When I'm in a good mood, it feels great. And I think maybe my love is good enough. But then I see him crying for those saints and I think, maybe it's not good enough. When he tells me a month ago, after this temple had been inaugurated, he made me pujari of the deities. And we went on a trip to France for 10 days. And on the 9th day, at night, he says to me, tell me something, do you miss the deities? And I said, what? Do you miss the deities in the temple? And I said, I mean, no, not really. I'm here with you. He just shook his head. He said, this is the problem. You all do the right things, you sit in the right places, but you don't feel the right things. I said, but Guruji, I'm with you. Why should I miss a deity when I'm with you? And he got angry with me and he said, you are with me physically, but are you with me in your heart? Are you with the deities in your heart? Because I'm here now. Physically I'm sitting next to you now. And this makes you feel secure. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. But if tomorrow my physical body was no longer here, what would be left of you, Revati? Where is your heart? You are putting all your hopes and dreams on the fact that physically you are sitting by my side and you think, that means I can relax. that means I have succeeded already. You have succeeded at nothing. If your heart does not burn for Krishna, if your heart does not burn for me, you have succeeded at nothing. And I look at Sudama, and I look at these people over which Guruji has cried before, and I think, how great must these people be? How great must be the power of love that the Lord of the universe longs for it, cries for it. I felt so inappropriate watching Guruji sitting like a ball in his room crying. My mind kept telling me, this is not supposed to be like this. You're my master, I'm the devotee. I'm the one who's supposed to be pitying myself, not you. And he said, I'm not pitying myself, you fool. I'm pitying for all of you. And this is the uniqueness of Krishna, because no other deity, no other incarnation has ever shown this the way Krishna showed this. How much he is willing to do for love. The gopis, the gopas, his parents, his friends, his wives. How far will he go for that love? And I asked myself the last question when I was thinking about this verse. How far will I go for that love? How far have I seen Guruji go? I've seen Guruji fly halfway across the world, do days and days and days of events to meet one person. One person. I know this because he has told me. And I say to him, and what is so special about this person? And he says, well, that person called me from his heart, and so I have answered the call. And I'm looking at this person thinking, but he's not calling now. And he's saying, yes, that's often how it happens. People call one time, I must answer. Well, by the time I get there, they don't want me anymore. Sometimes people in distress call for my love. I answer it. When they get me, they find out that I'm not what they thought I was. Because my love, I remember he goes like this, my love, people don't want my love. It's too much. It leaves space for nothing else. Tell me, Revati, you have somebody else in your heart other than me? And I said to him, no. He said, tell the truth. I said, yes. He said, then there's not enough space for me. I'm quite big, you know. And then he tapped his belly and laughed. And I said, Guruji, so should I now not love anybody else? He said, no. You should not be a fool and think that anybody else exists other than me. You see that? And this is the answer. If we stop looking left and right, and we stop getting distracted, and we stop giving importance to things that are not important, then what is important just starts to shine. You don't even have to look for it. It appears in front of your face. And Guruji is giving and giving and giving. And I asked Guruji one time, I said, Guruji, when will you give us your blessings? He said, I've already given them all. The minute I see you, the minute you tell me you are my Sadguru and I accept you, my blessing is yours already. It's all given. It's all there. I'm asking the question, Revati, when will you all see it? Don't ask me when I'm going to give it. So the last thought for you is, think of Sudama. Put yourself in his shoes. Think of the opportunity he had in front of him. Krishna was his friend, correct? Krishna was also the king, correct? How many times could he have asked him for material help? How many times could he have profited from this relationship? From the association? So many times. He never even thought of it. When his wife asked him, he said no. Why? Because he says, I'm not interested in abusing, I'm not interested in profiting, I'm not interested in anything other than my friendship with him. The integrity of the actual relationship, nothing else. Not the benefits of the relationship, not the gifts of the relationship. I can say, oh, I'm a Swami, that means I am privileged. I have this privilege and that privilege, but those are the gifts of a relationship. The relationship is the real privilege. My privilege is that I have a relationship with Guruji. Everything else is meaningless to that. Sudama understood that. Have you ever seen Guruji cry publicly as much as he does when he listens to Sudama's story? No. Why? Think of this. Why? Why? Why does he care so much about this story? And I have my theory, and my theory is that he's seeing exactly what should be. And he cries because it is so rare. If he would see it all the time, there wouldn't be anything special about it. There wouldn't be a need to cry if there were so many Sudamas sitting around. So today is Janmashtami. So today seems like a good day to not profit, to not think of how we can gain something, but rather only to think of our relationship with him. Not the service I give, not the service he gives, not what I have gained from him. No, what do I feel for him? And what does he feel for me? Feel. Close your eyes and feel. This is what you need to do. Because when you strip away all the distractions, you need to find that feeling. If you cannot find that feeling, if you cannot shed one tear, at least one tear for God, then you should do this every day until you can. I don't know when that day will come back for me. When I first met Guruji, I used to cry all the time. I used to be so embarrassed by it, because I thought I was just a mess, really. I remember there was one darshan in Switzerland. I went with him, I sat there and I cried for 3 hours. 3 hours, without stopping. And people thought some disaster had happened to me, because I was just sitting in the corner, holding my knees, rocking back and forth, crying like a baby. I was a baby. And people were asking me, Revatika, what's wrong? Do you want to talk about it? No, I don't want to talk. Why are you crying? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What made you cry? I don't know. Just look how beautiful he is. This was literally me. Not just one time, it was so many times. I'll just look at him and just spontaneously start crying, and I thought, what is going on here? And then I started to get some of his gifts, the privileges, the distractions, the profit, and the tears started to dry up. And then the only time I would cry again was out of self-pity. How tough Guruji is, how mean he can be sometimes. Why? Because my interest changed. Now my interest was not only about my relationship, it was about my status, my profit. Don't let that happen. I'm looking for those tears again, looking in my heart. So, I hope that you all look for those tears too. Jai Gurudev.